Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Jeremy Lamb, digital digital advisor and agency operator, and the co-founder and CEO of Black Light Group. Jeremy has worked with service-based businesses to help them generate leads through paid advertising and has recently transitioned into building a broader full-service agency model. His journey highlights the shifts from running ads to building full growth systems and what it takes to scale an agency beyond a single service. Jeremy, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
So, Olivia, I hate to correct you.
Don't
I'm the
do
COO.
it.
You said CEO, so I just want to make sure you got it right. I'm
Did
COO.
I say COO or CEO?
You said CEO.
Did I
CEO.
say
It's
CEO?
CEO.
Damn it.
Yep.
Sorry, let me run through that
No,
again.
you got it. I just wanted to correct you before we move forward.
Sometimes when you read something and your mouth said something different, it goes into like automation mode. That's
I
probably
get
what
it. Get
happened.
it. No
Let me
worries.
read through it again. I appreciate that though.
Yeah.
Today, I am joined by Jeremy Lamb, a digital advisor and agency operator, co-founder and COO of Black Light Group. Jeremy has worked with service-based businesses to help them generate leads through paid advertising and has recently transitioned into building a broader full-service agency model. His work highlights the shifts from running ads to building full growth systems and what it takes to scale an agency beyond a single service. Jeremy, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here and I really appreciate you joining me. Now, Jeremy, let's jump into this. And with all of my guests, I do actually like to start at the beginning of their journey. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Blacklight Group, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Sure. So, my entire background before becoming an entrepreneur was in marketing. I worked at one of the two biggest, largest marketing companies for blue collar services, a local businesses space in the United States, doing their paid media. So, I was running Facebook ads, Google ads primarily, and I call it the entrepreneurial itch. So, I just kind of want to start my own business, go off on my own, and stop working for somebody else. So I quit that job in 2023 after finishing up some time in the United States military. I was part-time in the National Guard and decided that I wanted to kind of just go out on my own. So I actually started a just an advertising agency because that's where my background was in.
Yeah.
I was just running Facebook and Google ads primarily and ran that for about 8 months. And then I actually met my now current business partner and co-founder and CEO, Andrew Sevilla. We met at a network and he ran a web development and SEO agency at the time. So we had like complementary services. And Anders a big networker himself. So he met our third business partner playing basketball early in the morning at like 6 a.m. He ran a content creation and creative agency. We were all guys in our 20s. I was the oldest one at age 26 at the time. So we were all guys roughly around the same age working in marketing and doing different aspects of digital marketing. So kind of how it worked was we were all just like referring back and forth to each other for a while. And we kind of realized if we joined forces and we actually put all of our services under one roof, we could sell to bigger clients, make more money, do cooler things, that kind of thing. So February of 2024, we officially joined forces. We kind of merged all three of our marketing agencies together into what is now Blacklight Group.
Sick. I love that. And you'll come with, well, firstly, I'm thank you so much for sharing that. But I love the fact that you've all kind of got different avenues of where you come from. As you said, like yourself, you're kind of that paid ad specialist, and then you've got the SEO and then even the content marketing on top. So as you say, you guys have come together to create this like powerhouse of an agency, all being like specialists in your fields and bringing it together. And I know you mentioned there throughout that you kind of got the entrepreneurial bug, but was that something that naturally developed, or did you think you had that since a kid? Like, was it always your ambition to kind of have your own company or have your kind of assets somewhere that belong to you, I guess?
I would say no, I really didn't ever expect to be running my own agency. I've always always known I wanted to work in marketing, so I knew like the industry was correct. But in terms of running my agency, no. I watched Mad Men when I was like 13 years old, and I thought that was a really cool kind of environment to work in. So I was like, you know, I want to work in advertising and I want to work in marketing. And my dream was kind of to work my way up big agency. So that's what I did, like right out of college
So, yeah.
at a big agency. And I thought that's what my career was going to be, which is to work my way up the ladder. And after about a year of working at that agency, I didn't really enjoy it too much. There were things about corporate culture and things like that that I didn't like. So I actually quit that agency and took a job at another big corporate agency. Maybe the company was the problem, but then I started noticing that it was the same kind of mindset, the same kind of things that I didn't like about it. You know what? Maybe it's not the agency of the problem. Maybe it's the working for somebody else is the problem. So
Yeah.
after two attempts of working for somebody else at a corporate agency, which is what I thought I wanted, I started realizing that maybe starting my own business is what I need to do. And that's kind of how that happened. Is I tried it twice and didn't like it both times, had the same complaints both times, and kind of realized in my mind like I can make more money and actually have a little bit of that freedom that I was looking for by just starting my own business.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And naturally, you did obviously have a good go in corporate. You tried two companies, but I love the fact that you obviously come to conclusion. And now, as you say, you've got your own agency and running for the hills. That's a really cool accomplishment. So that's cool stuff. So let's dive into Blacklight Group a little bit more then, just so the listeners can have some context moving forward. So, Jeremy, at this point in, I know you mentioned obviously you guys combined forces around in like 2024. So at this point in, who would you say like is your ideal client? Like, who is it that you very, very much love to work with the most? And then from there, how is it you help them, and how do you support them?
Sure. So our ideal client, it kind of two niches that we work with, and the big one is like your home services, local lead generation, and professional services space. So for those of you who don't know what that means, that's people who are like roofers, construction, HVAC type companies, remodelers. That also includes local lead gen, which is things like law firms and medical practices and medi spas. That's kind of what I include local lead gen space. Um, we primarily do their lead generation. So we're running their Facebook ads, their Google ads, we're doing their SEO, and then we're driving leads through high quality content on social media through social media advertising as well. That would be niche number one. And then actually, and this is a niche that I had never worked in before Blacklight Group started, was the hospitality space, the restaurant space. So think food venues and restaurants and sports bars and grills and things of that nature. We've also seen huge successes in as well, doing their mostly their social media and their social media advertising, driving butts and seats to their restaurants.
I love that butts and seats to the restaurants, and they're great niches. Both of them I would consider more in like the local area, but they're very like as you say dependent on people. Like hospitality is a really hard niche to get into, especially for marketing. There's so many nuances, and it's very different to most other kind of I suppose channels or platforms that you're looking to market as a service. So that's a really cool stuff that's diving into. And what is your process like to work with you? So like, do you get very much in the trenches with your clients, or what is your style or your approach when you are
Yeah,
helping them?
absolutely. So our big thing is custom marketing solutions. A lot of marketing companies will offer packaged solutions because it's scalable, which I understand. They'll do like a gold, silver, platinum package where you get yes X amount of campaigns, and X amount of social media posts, and X amount of attention. And if you want better service, more deliverables, you pay more money for that. We kind of take that model and flip it on its head, where we do every single model custom. So what we do is every single one of our clients gets a custom marketing plan based on what we think they and then we price it out accordingly. And kind of what it looks like is when we sign a client, we will meet with them and kind of dissect their business and kind of figure out this is what you need, this is what you're struggling with, this is what your goals are, this is what we see your brand as kind of overarching, just kind of dissect their business and really get into the weeds of what they're doing and what they're trying to accomplish. And then we'll build a custom marketing plan around what they're trying to accomplish instead of just offering them a blanket package.
Cool stuff. So you are very much in the trenches with your clients. You say the whole thing's custom from start to finish, and that is a big edge because, as you say, most people do offer more of a package service or even a like done for you most of the time as well. So I love the fact that you are kind of diving deep into what they're doing, and
Right.
as you say, you kind of take over that lead generation system and then move forward from there. So one thing I'm very curious to find out is how you go about acquiring your own customers. So like naturally with your background and your experience, like what are you finding most effective at the moment in just finding those right people to work with in this very busy world?
Absolutely. So it's a few things. We are in Nashville, Tennessee, so we kind of like to own our own backyard first. So we
Okay,
have a
cool.
sales team that goes out and does local lead generation through like networking events all time. We have people at probably 5 to 6 networking events a week in the Nashville and Middle Tennessee area first, because like I said, we like to own our own backyard. So we have tons of people in things like BNI, and there's a local networking event that all of our salespeople go to multiple times a week. That's probably been our biggest lead generator until we started running paid ads. And then recently we started throwing money at Facebook and Google advertising, and we've seen a huge uptick in leads that way. And then I actually also do social media on the side. So I have like an entrepreneurship marketing social media platform that has generated some leads as well.
It's cool. So you're kind of in every avenue. I love the fact that you're actually like, I suppose I wanted to say in the streets, but you're actually kind of getting out there and using your self team in the more of a traditional way, like knocking on doors, turning up to events and making sure you're being
Right.
seen in the local area is a really cool stuff. And then obviously, yeah, just
Mhm.
adding on more of the digital aspect. So leaning into those Meta ads, Google ads, and that content creation side on the back of it. What is there like, where am I going with my next question, Olivia? I suppose, and then off the back of that as well, is there any like anything else you guys are doing that little bit niche to find those kind of customers coming through? Obviously, with your background experience, and they're very special sectors that you're looking to hit.
I would say one thing that's pretty underrated with the lead generation for your own business is referrals. If you deliver for a client, they're going to scream your name from rooftops and send all of their friends and all of their business owners because business owners know business owners. So that's one thing that I feel like underutilized by a lot of people is just referrals. Hey, we did this
Yeah.
thing for you. You really enjoyed it. Do you have any friends who would need this thing as well? And if you did the thing well, they're going to say yes because they want their friends to succeed. So it's kind of like a domino effect. If you can deliver, it's huge to capture the referrals from your clients.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. And that is one that's definitely overrated and overlooked. Because naturally it just shows kudos to the work you are doing. You've built trust already, so it's a nice, smooth process. The only thing with referrals, I think they're not as consistent as you like. So I love the fact that you've got everything else kind of going alongside that, just to top up and build that consistency that you need in your lead gen. And obviously, I know you mentioned that you have a sales team and there's the three founders. So like, what does the dynamic look like within the team, and like who is helping Jeremy out cover some of those hats?
Yeah, so I actually the reason that I merged companies with some of the other guys is sales is not my strong suit. I am the operating officer, so I work in systems and numbers and data and profit. So sales really hasn't been my strong suit. So thankfully, my co-founders pretty much take over all of the sales and run the entire sales department, and then the sales kind of runs under them. And I've really taken on the role of service delivery. So we've kind of gotten our specialties down to where most of the sales I don't really touch that much, and I focus on the kind of the service delivery and the operations.
Sick. I love that. And I like, again, coming in from the start, you guys all had very individual skills. So it's nice you're leaning into that throughout the business as well. And naturally, I feel like the CEO is a pretty CE. Oh my God, I did it again. COO is a pretty cool aspect to be. I myself am more of that numbers kind of calculating person as well. So it's
Mhm.
nice you're leaning into your areas and then naturally getting help on that sales side as well. And I suppose when you think of like the future of the company, like what are the visions or ambitions that you guys are working hard towards? Are there any like goals or targets, say over the next 12 months that you guys are looking forward to achieving?
Yeah, absolutely. So we recently just hit our first $1 million. It's like 4 or 5 months ago at this point. So we're trying to hit $5 million in the next 12 months or so. We're trying to 5x the business. It's a pretty ambitious goal, but I think we got it. Part of what we're doing, kind of our plan for that, is because our approach to sales is really like heavy on the local networking. We're
Yeah,
actually opening up a new office over in Orange County, California next month,
so
I believe. Yeah, it's in May, so about a month from now, to kind of take that same local networking approach that's working in Nashville and try to apply it to other markets
cool.
as well.
Yeah, cool stuff. So as you say, kind of dominating a new back garden, and then you can kind of keep expanding out and approach from there.
Exactly.
I like it. They've got the new area on the roll. And I suppose where are you finding the biggest challenge for yourself in achieving that goal? I think it's achievable, don't get me wrong, but where is the biggest challenge?
I would say the biggest challenge would be just finding processes that you can repeat profitably at scale, which is how a business runs, obviously. But that's a huge challenge for us is we can repeat them 10, 15, 20 times, but
Yeah.
figuring out how to repeat those same processes or figure out processes that you can repeat 100 to 1,000 times, and that's where your real profit comes from. That's where that $5 million figure is going to come from. It's just kind of a lot of trial and error as we figure out how to get there.
Yeah, I can understand. And it is a different ball game when you are kind of going from that, as you say, you've hit your first mill and then we need to scale from there and keep going. And there are a lot of nuances that kind of come with that, not only within the offer itself, but also the leadership side of things as a team grows. Your guys' experience needs to grow with that as well. So
Yes,
that is definitely one big challenge, but I think an exciting one when you're on your way up and moving forward. There's nothing more challenging than that, I suppose.
absolutely.
And as one final question to you, Jeremy, before we log out. So if you could go back in time to a younger self, and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know back then. What would you say to yourself?
I would say keep the long-term goal in mind, because it's not going to be easy. There were times where I was close to quitting multiple times and almost did because it got really hard. I wasn't making as much money as I was wanting to. The business wasn't working, sales were slow, etc. But as I zoom out, I kind of realized that that's part of building a business and keeping the long-term goal in mind. If I would have, known back then where I'm going to be where I'm at now, then I would have taken a breath and been a little bit less stressed and kind of understood that's all part of the process and just keeping the long-term goal in mind.
Yeah, 100%. And Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out best to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Yeah, so I have an Instagram account that's official Jeremy Lamb if you want to check out some of my content online. And then if you work with my agency, it's blacklightgrp.com.
Awesome stuff. Blacklightgrp.com. Perfect. And Jeremy, thank you so much for joining me again today. I really appreciate your time. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to go and check out Jeremy Lang. As you just said, drop him a message on Instagram. Please check out the website. We'll have it all linked down below. I'm sure he'd love to hear from everybody. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing and we will see you on the next one.